As you all know, this morning at 3:27 a.m., we received a call in the 10400 block of Hess Drive. Officers were dispatched to an attempted suicide hotshot call, which means we respond with lights and sirens. The initial call came in at 3:27. Officers began responding at 3:28, and our first officer arrived on scene at 3:31 a.m. At 3:27 a.m., the deceased suspect's wife, who was the victim in this case, called and stated her husband was going to kill himself. At 3:28 a.m., the caller also stated that the suspect may kill her. At 3:28 a.m., caller stated that the suspect has guns, but unsure if he had any firearms with him. At 3:29 a.m., we received information that the suspect was possibly traveling in a tan Ford Ranger. At 3:29 a.m., the caller, victim of the domestic violence, stated again the suspect was going to kill her. The caller screamed and dropped the phone. At that time, we could not hear anything further in the background. Our call takers could not hear anything. At 3:32 a.m., our officers spotted a possible suspect vehicle and attempted to catch up to the suspect vehicle. At 3:34 a.m., a vehicle pursuit was initiated by members of the Austin Police Department. At 3:41 a.m., the suspect vehicle, police officers from the Austin Police Department patrol assets deployed what we call spike strips, like I said earlier, tire deflation devices, and successfully deployed it at the on William Cannon near Manchac. At 3:43 a.m., the suspect vehicle still fleeing after the tires had been spiked southbound Congress Avenue. At 3:45 a.m., the suspect vehicle drove into the entrance to the Walgreens parking lot on South Congress Avenue and Slaughter, and ended up in that grassy area adjacent to the sidewalk. At 3:46 a.m., after the suspect came out armed with a revolver in his left hand, while he was out of the car armed with the revolver, alternating his motions with it, aiming at the police officers. One member of the Austin Police Department discharged several rounds striking the suspect. Unfortunately, the suspect was pronounced deceased by Austin Travis County EMS at 3:50. The victim was struck by the suspect, punched by the suspect, and one of her teeth was actually knocked out by the suspect. She's doing as well as can be expected. On behalf of all of us in the Austin Police Department, we want to extend our condolences to her. We've already done that through our professionals at Victim Services, but anytime we take a life, it is really a tragedy for everyone involved, our officers, all of our personnel, and obviously for the family of the deceased suspect. The force is a very personal decision by police officers, and the standard that we have to use ultimately when we finish this investigation is based on the totality of the circumstances, the facts, and the information known to the officer. Was the use of deadly force objectively reasonable? And I can't make it the standard what would Art Acevedo do. I can't make it the standard what Troy Gay would do, or Pat Ochiltree or anybody else. It is the reasonable officer standard. And when somebody comes out of a car with a gun, understanding that action beats reaction 99 times out of 100, it is a tough call for the officer. If they hesitate and everything works out, they're heroes. If they hesitate and it doesn't work out, they're potentially dead. And so that's something that, again, when we make our final determination, the grand jury makes the final determination, it's that reasonable officer standard. There was, obviously, our patrol officers have tasers, but I can tell you in most instances, if you come out of a car armed with a handgun, and police officers that are chasing you in a pursuit, and you've already been engaged in violence at your residence, threatening to kill your wife, that is not wise. There's a high probability you're going to end up getting shot and potentially killed, no matter who that police officer is.